Welcome to Airailimages Video Magazine number 26. I'm Fred Johnson, and I'll be your host. You know, with travel down right now, we're all pretty much staying indoors. So we went looking for some great imagery to share with you. We found some current photography from an Air Force photographer in England. Shows B-2s, F-15s, F-35s in formation. Wonderful, high-quality stuff. We think you'll like it. And from our files, we have a lot of Union Pacific steam from an earlier era with detailed captions explaining the images. I think you'll enjoy that too. And maybe a few surprises. Stick around, kick back, relax, enjoy. Bomber Task Force Europe 20-2 brings together B-2s from Whiteman Air Force Base in Missouri, deployed to the United Kingdom, along with F-15 Eagles from the 48th Fighter Wing and Dutch F-35As. This international training activity was well photographed in March 2020 by Air Force Master Sergeant Matthew Plew. It's not often we get to track a warbird's history through decades of photographs of the airplane. Privateer number 59819 is a rare exception. From U.S. Navy service to restoration in the Pima Air and Space Museum, take a look. In the 1950s, this privateer was a Navy Reserve patrol bomber based in Niagara Falls, New York, but flying overseas as well. It carried number 206 on the nose. Sold as surplus, Privateer 59819 flew to Prescott, Arizona for conversion as an air tanker in the early 1960s. Air Tanker 30, number 59819, was photographed in the company of B-17F N-17W. Tanker 30 carried registration number N3739G. The opaque white nose cap on Privateer 59819 looks like one of the ferry caps used when new privateers were flown on a ferry flight without nose turrets from San Diego to Arizona for turret installation. By 1971, Tanker 30 had been fitted with the greenhouse nose from a B-24D, as seen at Tucson, Arizona that September. Tanker 30 was bought by the Lone Star Flight Museum and moved to Galveston, Texas for restoration in 1991. The ultimate privateer restoration at the time of this video is the completed PB4Y-2 number 59819 ex-Tanker 30, finished by the Pima Air and Space Museum in Tucson, Arizona. The Pima Museum collection is vast and varied and well worth a visit. The Union Pacific Railroad dealt with challenging grades as well as wide-open terrain as it evolved steam motive power in the 20th century. In an age when many railroads' motive power had a unique signature look, Union Pacific stood out with its bold sans serif lettering, large Vanderbilt tenders with additional rectangular water storage, and flat front boilers made more appealing with the relocation of the headlight to the center of the smokebox door. 280 number 492 was photographed in Kansas City, Kansas in October 1954. Once considered mainline freight haulers, 280s were relegated to smaller trains and road switching duties as rolling stock got heavier and mainline power needed to be bigger to match. Built by Baldwin in April 1903, number 492 was stricken from the UP roster by November 1956. 280 number 6030, a 1905 Baldwin locomotive, pulled a low-profile oil tender when photographed in Los Angeles on 28 March 1947. This engine was deleted from the roster that same year. With a box tender and footboards on the pilot indicating its use as a road switcher, Union Pacific 280 number 513 paused in Nampa, Idaho in 1948. By 1955, it was off the railroad roster. Coal-burning 280 number 560 was photographed in the yards at Idaho Falls, Idaho on 17 April 1951. In the Mountain West, that snowplow was a good bet well into spring. Temperatures in the previous month had dipped into single digits. This 280 was dropped from the roster 5 years later. Its tender piled high with coal, 280 number 602 was seen in Ogden, Utah on 15 April 1951. Rows of cross bolts on the smokestack are part of a design intended to keep sparks from leaving the smokestack and starting trackside fires. Union Pacific's 210-2s were monstrous freight haulers. If not glamorous, nonetheless impressive. They had a tractive effort, typically in excess of 70,000 pounds. Number 5051 has boards to retain coal inside the tender's coal bunker. One UP-210-2, oil burner number 5511, survives in the collection of Union Pacific steam locomotives in the Cheyenne, Wyoming Roundhouse. It was stored for several years at the Green River Roundhouse and officially retired in 1962. For fast freight service in flatland areas, number 9053 was part of a batch of 25 412-2s built by Alco for Union Pacific in 1929. Altogether, the railroad ordered 88 of the largest non-articulated locomotives in America. The big numbers on the tender, with small Union Pacific under the cab, plus a UP medallion on the tender, indicates this photo was taken not later than about 1932. Brooks built this Pacific passenger locomotive in 1913. The lettering style suggests the photo was taken in 1937 or later. This 462 was retired in 1947. Well, that wraps it up for Airailimages Video Magazine number 26. We hope you enjoyed it. We hope you'll watch the other editions on our channel as well.